Our lesson today is on line graphs. A line graph uses a series of line segments to show changes in data. Usually a line graph shows changes over time. This graph represents the number of people in a store. You want to make sure you write down that a line graph shows changes over time, just to remember that. On the x-axis, we always list the time. The time may be in hours, like this graph, or it may be in years or months, days. It can be anything related to time. On the y-axis, we always list the scale. The scale may go up by ones, as in this case. Every line is one person. Or it may go up by 2s, 5s, or 10s. Here we have the different steps in making a line graph. Step 1, draw the y and x axis on your graph paper. Step 2, determine the scale. What should you go up by? Remember, always start at 0. Step 3, label the x and y axis. Remember, x is always time, and labels are always in the lines. This is a line graph, so we're only using lines on the graph paper. Step 4 is to plot the data. And step 5 is the title. We're going to make a graph about temperatures throughout the day. We will use these steps, so stop the video and make sure you have all these steps written in your notes. Here's our graph. The first step is to draw the x and y axis. Make sure you use a straight edge. Looking at our data, we need to determine the scale. I'm going to be graphing the actual temperatures. So we know that the time is going to be on the x-axis and the temperature will be on the y-axis. I see my temperature starts at 8 a.m. We cannot put it on the actual y-axis. Make sure you move it over 1. I can actually skip lines to make it look a little neater. But if I do that, I have to do that all the way across. 4 p.m. and then 6 p.m. So now I look to do the scale. I know I must start at 0, and my highest temperature is 81 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think going up by 10s would be perfect. Usually you want between 8 and 12 intervals. Not too big, not too small. Now I'm ready to plot the data. So at 8 a.m., we'll put the temperature here. The label, I forgot that. And you could put degrees Fahrenheit. I did get all my labels, though, from the chart. Alright, let's plot the temperature. At 8 a.m., it was 62 degrees. That's a little bit above 60. At 10 a.m., it was 70 degrees. At noon, 78 degrees, a little bit below 80. At 2 p.m. is 81 degrees. At 4 p.m., 76 degrees, so that's a little bit above halfway. And at 6 p.m., 74 degrees, so a little bit below halfway. Now you're going to take your straight edge, your ruler, and connect each one of the dots individually. This gives us an idea of how the temperature went up and down during that day. The last thing we need to have is our title. Notice I can get that right off of the chart. Temperatures throughout the day. Here's some information for you to make your own line graph. The bear population at the zoo. Follow the 5 steps, make sure you have labels, and then tape or glue it into your notebook. bring it back to class. Good luck!